All right, yeah. And now we've got the man, the myth, and the legend now. And this is something I've never done, Coach, so you're going to have to take it easy on me here.
Gotcha.
We've got Coach Stoops with us.
You said the man, the myth, the legend. I said, well, Tim is here.
Exactly. Obviously, huge news on the quarterback side.
Yeah.
Thoughts, feelings about that? What went into it?
Somewhat relieved, I guess. I was asked that question in the press conference, and I think that's fair to say that I am, because it has been hanging over our heads. Tim, with both of you guys, you've probably been in quarterback battles before, and that's tough on everybody. It's tough on the team to some extent, and certainly these players. The one thing that I've said all along is I wanted to be very thorough, because that's an important job. And you know what? It's say what you want, but it does mean more than any other position, because we always know that other positions substitute more freely. Mm-hmm. And those guys are going to play, and they have every opportunity to win the job each and every week, each and every series during the game at other positions. At quarterback, you really want to give him the keys and say it's yours. Now go play and go drive the bus and lead our team. And so I never wanted to be reckless in making that decision. Just because you want to make a decision doesn't mean that you could just go pull something out of your hat and go make that decision. I wanted to be fair and give everybody the opportunity, and it wasn't clear all the time.
Now, granted, it was the first day today. Did you see a difference with Patrick? Did you see a difference in the team? Was there an expectation, like a looking to him?
Honestly, we made that decision late last night, and I told the quarterbacks this morning. I didn't tell the team until after practice.
Awesome.
So, and I didn't want them to get hit with media or anything before I announced it to them. So, we talked to each individual quarterback this morning and broke the news to them. So I really didn't notice much difference with the team, because we've been subbing those guys in and out anyway. So
what was the biggest difference that you saw in Patrick that you decided to name him the starter? I know Drew has shown some really good things. Reese shown some really good things. What was the deciding factor for you guys as a staff to say we're going to go ahead and go with Patrick?
You know, I don't know if there was any one area, Tim, as you know, that so much goes into it, but I like the way he's handled a lot of things. I like the way he handled, first and foremost, the way he handled the news from a year ago. Mm-hmm. You know that's not easy from a guy that's highly recruited, that's from in-state. He gets that news a year ago. It would have been real easy to put his head down and say, well, I could transfer somewhere and throw the ball around and go play. You know, I know I'm talented, and I know I could do this and go somewhere and play, which happens a lot of quarterback. And I understand that also, guys, if they get beat out and want to go play somewhere. I completely understand that. But instead, he said, what are my areas that I need to improve on? And he went out and did that. And he improved. In the first area that he improved on so much, and you guys probably see that, is release. And therefore, it's helped him with his decision-making. So I like that. And I also, you know, he won the job. And you know, he's a big, strong guy with a big arm. He quickened up that release, and he does have a little bit more experience. You just put all that together, and through a close race, I do feel comfortable in the decision.
All right, well, we got to take a break now. If you can stick around, that'd be great. Coach.
Yeah,
all right, great. Well, we got a whole bunch more questions. We're actually going to go to the defensive side of the ball, which is something I don't know me and Tim know a whole bunch about, but we'll get a little bit anyway. So it's KSR Radio.
Now back to Kentucky Sports Radio on Talk Radio 1080.
Welcome back to Kentucky Sports Radio. Tim Couch, Jared Lorenzen here with the Kentucky head football coach, Mark Stoops. And, Coach, we talked about the quarterback decision already. Yep. Let's switch sides. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. We all know about Bud Dupree's, Darius Smith. Who are some other guys that have kind of stood out in this camp to you so far?
Yeah, a guy that I've been impressed with has been Josh Forrest. He's not a finished product yet, but I like what he's doing at middle linebacker. You know, Avery's a big guy to replace. That's a tough guy to replace. He's with his leadership and just his ability. Josh is a different player. He's really good in pass coverage, and he's long, and he could run a little bit, and there's a lot of, you know, all the different things that are going on. He has good instincts. He needs to improve to be a better tackler like Avery, you know, and that's the bottom line when you're in the middle linebacker, find the ball and tackle the ball.
Right.
You know, and he needs to just be a little bit more physical at the point of attack, but I've been impressed with him and what he's doing. And Ryan Flanagan's coming in, just got here, and he's going to help us at will linebacker. He's battling with Khalid for that starting job at will. But I've really been impressed with his athleticism, which we needed. We all know we've been a little thin inside at backer, so I like what he's doing. When we go to the 3-4 package and we're outside backers, I really feel good about that because you got Bud, and that's one of the reasons why we went to 3-4 a year ago is because Jason Hatcher is playing so well. Jason's a very good football player, a little bit of a tweener, but he's a good D-end in a 4-down scheme, but he's good on his feet a little bit too, and it showcases his ability maybe a little bit more because he's pretty explosive coming off the edge and rushing a little bit. Another guy that we like at outside backer, and we're trying to force him inside a little bit because of depth, is Trayvon. Because Trayvon's another guy that we, used to play with his hand down. At the end, he's not quite big enough. We're standing him up. He's a good outside linebacker, but we need him a little bit inside just for depth. So we're experimenting a little bit with him inside, outside, moving him around a little bit. Another guy that's really going to help us from a year ago is the free safety position in A.J. Stamps. So really love the way he's been playing. He's been very versatile, picks things up, and just really impressed with A.J. He's really the whole package. He really, when we drop him into the box in the run game, he has a good feel for that. He can be physical when he needs to, and just instinctually with all the different things at free safety really helps us. And we needed that position. We needed that in the will linebacker position drastically to improve, and we helped ourselves with junior college recruiting in those two areas.
What about the corners? Are you putting a lot of pressure on them out there, man-to-man, zoning out? What are they doing best right now?
We are, and we're better. Those guys all played a year ago,
right?
And we need to drastically improve there. We're better, and that's all I can say. We got to keep on working. So I think with J.D. Harmon coming, gives us a little bit more size at corner, and he's battling. And he'll play. All those guys will play. But Cody Quinn's been out there doing a nice job. Fred Tiller, those two are starting right now. J.D. Harmon will give us a little bit of size. And, so we'll see where that goes. We need to keep on improving there.
You guys about ready to see a different color jersey yet?
Yeah, it gets to be about that time. Yeah,
about that time of year.
12 days out?
It does. And, Monday morning, the guys had yesterday off outside of meetings and some things going on here in the building. We weren't out on the field at all yesterday. And you know how it is. Then you get back out there Monday morning. It took a while to get them going, a little bit to get them going this morning. But we ended up responding with a pretty good practice. But we've got to really push it hard again this week. We've got to have a complete week. We've got to keep on working. We worked the 2-minute drill today at the end of practice, a couple different scenarios, and we need to continue to do that and just get all the different situations worked out here this last week of camp, and then we're in the game week.
Is that the way it works? You guys go to game plan week and a half, or is it the week of, or... Yes,
somewhere in the middle there. Yes, somewhere. We'll see where we're at. Probably Thursday, Friday of this week, we'll start getting into game week.
Jared and I were just watching practice, and one of the things that jumps out to you, obviously, is the group of running backs that you have here. And I know you got to like that group. And talk about some of those guys, Braylon Hurd, and obviously the newcomer Boom Williams, and getting JoJo back healthy this year, all that kind of stuff.
I really like it. Braylon gives us he gives us a more mature guy, which is good. And he obviously gives us some ability as well. A guy with some experience, played in the Big Ten, played at Nebraska, sat out last year. But I like his maturity. I like his toughness, and he's been very consistent. That's helped JoJo become a better player and more mature and grow up, because JoJo's always had the talent. And JoJo's really improved in being more accountable and being more precise in everything he's doing. And then you bring in the newcomers, and those guys are unbelievable. I mean, Mikkel and Boom.
Mikkel's a big boy, isn't he?
Mikkel's a big boy, but what I love about him is he has that really good vision for a big guy. He's really smooth. He doesn't wow you like most big backs will with his speed, but he has it, and he has that great vision and pad level, and he's really started to impress me in the last couple of live scrimmages, is putting that head down and getting some tough yardage that we've needed. And so he's been really impressive, and Boom really is extremely talented.
Yeah. He's probably the fastest of the backs.
Maybe when it's all said and done, years from now, people will be, might be saying that guy's awfully talented.
Oh yeah.
And you could just see it again. His vision, his long speed, his home run speed, and again the toughness in the vision. So really like him. And Josh was having a nice camp. He got dinged up again last week in our scrimmage.
We saw him on the bike over here.
He goes. He went live, and I've been trying to protect him, but he needed some live reps. He went live and kind of got dinged up a little bit, and it puts him behind the 8 ball again. But he's really been impressive as well.
No, Boom's a guy that you could put out at slot and run some routes and everything. He's talented enough to do that kind of stuff.
He is talented enough, and we got to get the ball in his hands and kickoff returns for sure. And and just find them a way to get them the ball. And that's a good problem. When you start saying, hey, you have some guys and you got to get them the ball a few times a game, last year we only had a few where we're trying to create ways to get somebody the football. Now if we have more guys to get them the ball and create plays, then obviously that's where we need to go.
Just personally, how's Ryan Timmons looking? How's he doing?
He's doing a really good job.
I've seen him catching a couple balls out here.
He got a little bit tweaked up, a little dinged up a week and a half or so ago. Then he's been back out here, and the last 3, 4, 5 days he's getting back to that really good place. So really, he had such a good spring and been working hard all summer. Came out here in the fall, and that little, that injury kind of put him behind a little bit. Then you come back a little bit out of shape and things like that. Mm-hmm. But he's working his way into it, and Ryan's going to have a big year. We need him to have a big year.
We were looking at your wide receiver group, and last year you had all the young guys, and a lot of the receivers were a little bit undersized. But now these newcomers are coming in, and big dude, there goes Dorian Baker right there, and looking like an outside linebacker. These guys are, Baker 6'3", Blake Bones 6'5". It's another dimension to your passing game with these big guys coming in.
Absolutely, and I mean, you guys could say it better than anybody. I mean, how are you going to go play quarterback if you don't have some weapons like that?
You have to.
You have to. You have to have some guys that on those run-pass conflicts that the linebackers and everybody's in that could take a slant and run inside and have a big body and drill them in the chest and catch the ball and get some hard get some hard yards. And that's what we need. We really, I don't like talking negative. I don't really talk much about the pass, but we really needed to grow at that position. The wide receiver position. We just flat weren't good enough. You know what I mean? We just need to really improve and recruit and make these guys we got better. And that's what we're doing. But it is nice, and you know how it is also with freshmen. They show flashes, but that consistency is what makes it hard. And we have no choice. We have to push these guys into action, and we have to have them operate at a high level. But it's difficult. They go through their ups and downs. They get beat up through camp. They mentally and physically have their challenges. Because it's just the way it is. But we've got no choice. We've got to push them through it, and physically they're everything you want.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes with us. I think we're all excited.
Yeah.
We can't wait for the Tennessee Martin game. So,
well, I told them it just happened this way. I mean, we didn't have any plan. We went through our decision last night with Neil and I went through everything and thought we'd make that decision. As soon as we found out, we told everybody. When we knew, we'd let everybody know.
So we appreciate you giving us
that was perfect on the radio today.
Yeah, and I told them walking in to the press conference, I said, well, I had to bring you two in for the big announcement.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it, man.
Thanks
for your time, Coach.
Great
appreciate
seeing you guys.